Vasili III Ivanovich was the Grand Prince of Moscow from 1505 to 1533. He was the son of Ivan III Vasilievich and Sophia Paleologue and was christened with the name Gavriil. He had three brothers: Yuri, born in 1480, Simeon, born in 1487, and Andrei, born in 1490, as well as five sisters: Elena, Feodosiya, another Elena, another Feodosiya, and Eudoxia. Foreign affairs. Vasili III continued the policies of his father Ivan III and spent most of his reign consolidating Ivan's gains. Vasili annexed the last surviving autonomous provinces, Pskov in 1510, appanage of Volokholamsk in 1513, principalities of Ryazan in 1521 and Novgorod-Seversky in 1522. The Vasili also took advantage of the difficult position of Sigismund of Poland to capture Smolensk, the great eastern fortress of Lithuania, chiefly through the aid of the rebel Lithuanian Prince Mikhail Glinski, who provided him with artillery and engineers. The loss of Smolensk was an important injury inflicted by Russia on Lithuania in the course of the Russo-Lithuanian Wars, and only the exigencies of Sigismund compelled him to acquiesce in its surrender. In 1521 Vasili received an emissary of the neighboring Iranian Safavid Empire, sent by Shah Ismail I, whose ambitions were to construct an Irano-Russian alliance against the common enemy, the Ottoman Empire. Vasili was equally successful against the Crimean Khanate, although in 1519 he was obliged to buy off the Crimean Khan, Mehmed I Jure, under the very walls of Moscow. Towards the end of his reign he established Russian influence on the Volga. In 1531–32 he placed the pretender Kangali Khan on the throne of Khanate of Kazan. Domestic affairs. Regarding internal policy, Vasili III enjoyed the support of the Church in his struggle with the feudal opposition. In 1521, Metropolitan Varlam was banished for refusing to participate in Vasili's fight against an appanage prince, Vasili Ivanovich Shemyevich. Rurikid princes Vasili Shuisky and Ivan Vorotinsky were also sent into exile. The diplomat and statesman Ivan Bersen-Beklemishev was executed in 1525 for criticizing Vasili's policies. Maximus the Greek, Vasian Patrikayev and others were sentenced for the same reason in 1525 and 1531. During the reign of Vasili III, the land ownership of the gentry increased, while authorities actively tried to limit immunities and privileges of boyars and the nobility. Family life. By 1526, when he was 47 years old, Vasili had been married to Solomonia Saburova for over 20 years with no heir to his throne being produced. Conscious of her husband's disappointment, Solomonia tried to remedy this by consulting sorcerers and going on pilgrimages. When this proved unsuccessful, Vasili consulted the boyars, announcing that he did not trust his two brothers to handle Russia's affairs. The boyars suggested that he take a new wife, and despite much opposition from the clergy, he divorced his barren wife and married Princess Elena Glinskaya, the daughter of a Serbian princess and niece of his friend Michael Glinski. Not many of the boyars approved of his choice, as Elena was of Catholic upbringing. Vasili was so smitten that he defied Russian social norms and trimmed his beard to appear younger. After 3 days of matrimonial festivity, the couple consummated the marriage. Though initially it appeared that Elena was as sterile as Solomonia, the Russian populace began to suspect this was a sign of God's disapproval of the marriage. However, to the great joy of Vasili and the populace, the new Tsaritsa gave birth to a son, who would succeed him as Ivan IV. 3 years later, a second son, Yuri, was born. According to a story, Solomonia Saburova also bore a son in the convent where she had been confined, just several months after the controversial divorce. Death. Whilst out hunting on horseback near Volokоламsk, Vasili felt a great pain in his right hip, the result of an abscess. He was transported to the village of Kolp, where he was visited by 2 German doctors who were unable to stop the infection with conventional remedies. Believing that his time was short, Vasili requested to be returned to Moscow, where he was kept in the St. Joseph Cathedral along the way. By the 25th of November 1533, Vasili reached Moscow and asked to be made a monk before dying. Taking on the name Varlam, Vasili died at midnight the 4th of December 1533. Ancestry.